great to be back at Barnfield, Gaffer, but I imagine it feels quite different and obviously looks quite different. But how's it been in the opening week of the return to training?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of days training. We got in on Tuesday afternoon once we got the testing, and just did really, that was more of a familiarity session to make the players aware of where they were physically going to have to go to, how they conduct themselves, getting from their cars to the training pitch, etc., etc. But that all went well. And then a down day Wednesday and then in today, and that went well as well today because obviously they did know now, so they just pulled up where they were, parking in different pods, walking straight on the training pitch, train, straight back into the car, off they go. And it's worked really simplistically, actually. I think we can get on with that quite simply for a bit. I think the players eventually would be like, well, can we have some, more real football, if you like, mixing with others? I think that'll be the key to it. But so far, so good. Everyone will know when we did the training round, we have got some brilliant pitches now and we've got plenty of them. So, there's not been that problem with logistics or anything. We've managed that pretty well. There's certainly more than enough pitch area for the players that we need. So, no, that's been a real positive. And even though two of the pitches have been relayed, we've still got, bigger areas which we can use. So that's worked out really well, actually.
Unfortunately, you haven't got your right-hand man at the moment. As we know, Ian Woan had a positive test, which I think was a surprise to him as much as anybody. But I suppose it shows that, the benefit of testing, and hopefully within a week he'll be back amongst you and it'll be business as normal.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the idea was to see what comes up. Fortunately, I think we'll all agree that the stat was very low with the number of tests that were positive. Yeah, he'd had nothing wrong with him before. He still hasn't got anything wrong with him now. I spoke to him yesterday on a Zoom call with the other staff, and he's probably as scratching his head as much as anyone. But the facts are the facts. It's seemingly anyway. I know there's new sort of thoughts on these tests not being 100%, but I think they're pretty near it now. But he's had no symptoms at all. I think Andy Mariappa at Watford actually came out today, didn't he? And said he was the same and had no symptoms at all. And yet has got it. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably as extreme, it seems, as what this virus is. Either, people have nothing at all, and some people it affects, obviously, to a drastic level. So, but so far, so good. I haven't spoken to him today, but I will do this afternoon. But he's fine generally.
In terms of personnel, 1 or 2 injuries before the break, and the lads have rehabilitated during the break and have all been training, I know themselves. How are everybody and those lads that were just sort of out of the picture when we last played?
Yeah, good. The only one at the moment is Barnes. He's still having a little bit of trouble with his sort of lower stomach, in the groin sort of area that he'd had a bit before. But at the moment, it's controllable. We're just being careful with that. Johan's in a pod working with the group, as is Matt Loughton. He's out there as well working with the group, and J-Rod. So, yeah, they're all with their pods. They're all working. And so far, the feedback's been really good. They're all really pleased with how their injuries are.
Excellent. I suppose at the minute it's a bit of an unknown quantity because we don't have a start date yet, so you don't quite know what you're aiming for in terms of players' fitness and preparation. How are you managing that, and what's your sort of view on what it'll take and how ready the lads will be?
So you probably know, but the numbers are increasing, so that we can get some more numbers in to add to the player roster. So that'll be from testing from Friday. So when that moves forward, I think therefore, we can add a few more of the younger players, and therefore you've got a bigger group. And the knock-on effect is if we do have injuries or, of course, illness, then we've still got the numbers to kind of bring a real feel to what it's going to need. Because as we know, this season, when it starts, highly improbable at this stage we can play anyone else other than your own group. So therefore you do need the extra numbers to make sure you've got that 20 players that you might need at any given time to have that real scenario of playing against each other. We're not allowed yet, of course, but at some point they will build up towards that, or at least that's what we're being told. So yeah, I mean, all these things as it goes along will open up, I think, and as they open up, it gets more simplistic, in how we can work and operate.
And in terms of fitness, I suppose your lads will just be ready whenever the green light is given. I'm sure you'll get a couple of weeks' notice of when the first game will be. But
yeah, I think that's the challenge. It's part of being a professional. There's lots of different challenges come your way, and this is just another one of them. And I think the players are already thinking, they understand that, and I think they're willing and they will be ready. They're not quite ready yet, but they're in good shape at the minute, and I think they're. Even though it'll be weird and odd and strange and all these words that we use about it, I think they're still looking forward to getting back and playing, because that's what they do, of course, for their livelihoods.
The lads, certainly the ones that we've spoken to, seem to be very positive about getting back into it and just keen to finish what they've started because they were in such good nick when the break was enforced.
Yeah, that's right. We're in real positive shape when this break came upon us, and we delivered good performances, got good results, generally speaking, in the 7 games, and I think they'll reflect on that. But equally, they know that's not a guarantee for the next bit. So I think they'll be clear-minded, and the focus will continue to improve as we get closer and closer. And as I said, especially when hopefully at some point we can start working as a group.
It's not going to be the same. We do know that, and there's a taste of that from the Bundesliga last weekend. But that showed that it can work, and it's football. It's a lot better than nothing. And 3 points is 3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the key. I think fans will be actually okay about it. Is that we're trying to deliver the best job that we can in weird and wonderful circumstances. So I think fans will be okay with that. I think they'll get it. I think they'll get the feel in a stadium could be different and all these things. But I think, through a screen, you understand what I mean, the stadium being empty. But I think they'd take that rather than having no football. So I hope most fans would, and I certainly think they would.
And just lastly, on personal matters, we've announced today that Robbie's contract has been extended. The clause has been taken up, if you like. Common sense all round for all parties, that one, Gaffer?
Yeah, I think so. He's had a bit of a tough time with injuries, unfortunately. Hopefully this break will, give him a chance to get another block of fitness in, to be ready for when this opens up again and starts again. And in that meantime, we, took an option on him because we thought it was the right thing to do for now and for going forwards next season.
Because it might be a very different transfer market when it restarts and players. So as you say, certain things that we have control over. Nice to sort of keep your own house in order as much as possible, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, no one quite knows yet. I think the knock-on effect of actually finishing the season will be a benefit, financially to clubs. So no one knows how the market's going to manifest itself. But I think the one thing that you do want to do is control the controllables. So there are situations we can control. Robbie's one of them. And then it's down to the chairman, to start looking at the other situations in due course that we can affect. And I think that'll be important.
Well, I'm glad to see you back up north, Gaffer. I'm glad the lads are back, and we look forward to seeing you at Barnfield when we're allowed to get back down shortly. Thanks very much.
Yeah, will do. Cheers.